for it now.
Yo, 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 yo! What up, man? Welcome to Mezzo Forte Sportz. That's right, Bar Talk with the super fans. We're chilling out with the crew. We do every today's edition. As always, our fearless host and leader, Danny BMD in the studio. And me, of course, your amateur hype man, Superfan Art. We're going to be talking a whole lot of sports. We're going to be doing it South Texas style.
Yeah.
Without further ado, take it away, Danny.
Yo, yo, yo. How's everyone doing today? Welcome to Mezzo Forte Sportz. Coming to you live from San Antonio, Texas to your ears. Provides on sports time for your free time. What up, this your host, Danny BMD. How's everyone doing today? And how did your team do this weekend? This week? And these past couple of days. God.
I don't believe it.
So again, welcome everyone back into the studio. Obviously, we miss and love every single one of you. Watch us live on Twitch, on YouTube, and essentially anything that you are watching us on. Thank you so much for following us. And I'll definitely start posting up our link to where we have all of our websites. And we're actually gonna start setting up our podcast as well. Superfan Art, how you doing today, bro?
What up, dog? Doing fine on this nice, cool Tuesday evening. I was watching the conclusion of the Bucks 76ers basketball game. I was pretty competitive down to the wire. I'll mention the scores about that later on. But now, I had a great weekend because I was able to go up to SA. I got to see you fine folks. I saw my sister Gabby Gold. She's actually going to expect her own bundle of joy in April in the form of a girl.
Hey!
I told you I'm a Theo already, but at least the gender reveal or a chromosome reveal, as some people say, it's going to be double X's.
Nice,
Hey,
nice.
yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Nothing wrong with Dos Equis.
No, al contraire.
But as aside from seeing good family and friends, all my sports teams were struggling this week. Cowboys, who knows what the hell happened with them. The Longhorns had another devastating loss. And our Spurs, they've been on a bit of a slump as well. So it wasn't a very happy weekend in the sporting world. Uh, I got to see that Canelo fight. That was pretty entertaining. It lasted 11 out of 12 rounds. For him to win and become undisputed champion, and I don't know how many belts he has. He becomes like just the sixth Mexican boxer all time to get the undisputed status. So that was a pretty high point for me in the sporting sense. Um, but now we'll get into more of the highs and lows of recapping all happened in college football, pro football, uh, some of the basketball standings or whatnot. But no, definitely a cheers out there to all our viewers. Um, Thank you for continued support, your viewership. Uh, Hell, even if you're hating on us, at least you're providing some love our way in some form. So like, comment, subscribe. But if you're gonna hate, at least keep it clean. And who knows? Maybe if you leave a comment, uh, we'll try to be more assertive with answering comments live on air. Uh, so yeah, we want to hear what your opinions are out there in the world. But no, glad to be here. Got a lot to discuss. Danny, you been all right, man?
Uh, yeah, man. I just been chilling. I know we've been looking at a lot of different sports now that like baseball did end, but football is on its all glory, and we're seeing obviously that the boxing world is making a comeback with Canelo, and everything like that. So it's pretty cool, just to kind of see like the different sports just start grow and elaborate into, finally into their season. We'll talk about MLS a little bit more next week. But well, obviously NFL is just about essentially halfway. The NBA is, we already know a pretty good amount, so we can start gauging, teams and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um,
And college men's hoops.
yeah, and
We
college just
mentioned
started. Yeah,
baseball ended, and guess what? Another sport takes its place
yeah,
for
exactly.
men's hoops. Uh,
So, and also obviously college football, it's been, up and down. Obviously for us, Longhorn fans. But for UTSA, it's been exciting. They're 9-0. And it's gonna be pretty interesting as they move forward. Not just with this year, because this year I don't think they'll get too much. But once they get into the little bit of a better conference, when they excuse me, when they start seeing like your more ranked teams, where they can sustain their top 25 status, um, with still winning or whatever. Or like, they might make a run. You never know. I mean, your Oklahomas, your Alabamas and stuff like that. They're starting to look a little bit more vulnerable, dude. I mean, there's no, set, play. Besides maybe Georgia, there's and maybe Bama still. There's no real, team that is like set to make the college playoffs.
no,
So it's
the pieces are constantly moving each
yeah,
weekend. More and more unbeaten start to become beaten, or some of the top tier teams are struggling a bit to close out games. I think that's something that happened to Cincinnati. They struggled, and so maybe the college selection committee for the playoffs, they look at shit like that, like, oh,
yeah,
they beat them, but like there was barely even a win,
yeah,
and it's like a weak team. So shit like that, they take into account all that stuff.
yeah. So I mean, I don't know. We'll see how that kind of works out. But bro, what do you want to go from here?
I could just quickly breeze into hockey real quick.
All
There's
right,
just one or two storylines there, and then we'll just play it by ear after that.
all right. Put some tunes in here. All right, bro, go for it.
All right,
Oh wait,
hockey.
hold on. My bad, bro.
Go for it.
Recording in progress.
Sorry.
Oh,
Go ahead. Sorry.
that's all right. Uh, so yeah, for this Tuesday evening, we got a good slate of games going on in the hockey world. I won't go down the list of them all. Obviously, as a fan of any Texas-based team, uh, not interested as much since our Dallas Stars aren't taking the ice this evening. But some decent matchups. The Kraken Golden Knights. I think the two new kids on the block, uh, or at least the two new franchises, are gonna slug it out. I don't know if the Kraken have already got their inaugural win. I think they have. The Kings Canadians. That's always a good one. Uh, the defending champs, the Lightning, facing the Hurricanes. uh, and kind of like a storm themed battle there. I like it.
I was
Uh,
like, for real.
Oilers,
Excuse me.
Oilers, Red Wings, and there's a few other games I won't go much in detail. But one of the main storylines that I saw over the past few days is um, that Alex Ovechkin, he scored his 741st career goal, which actually
Ooh.
ties him with Brett Hull for fourth on NHL's all-time list. And the Washington Capitals, they were able to outlast the Buffalo Sabres when they played on Monday night. Score 5-3. Now Ovechkin, he assisted on two goals and was around the puck pretty much all the night. As the Hungry Capitals snapped a three-game skid, Ovechkin nearly ended up with a pair of goals, which would have surpassed Hull's mark. In the first period, he redirected Trevor Van Rimdijk's shot from the point, but it caught a piece of Tom Wilson's arm on its way. So all in all, though, it was a good night for the superstar, and there appears to be more ahead of him. At just the age of 36, Ovechkin is on pace to pass third place Jaromir Jaeger. He has 766 career goals. Uh, before the end of the season, he could pass that mark. Now, Wayne Gretzky, he holds the all-time record of 894 goals, followed secondly by Gordie Howe. He has 801. So as it stands, Ovechkin is at 741, uh, and he's in that fourth place spot. Uh, so he's in good company. Although with age,
I was gonna
I'm not
say,
really sure. Like as a hockey player, what's
like,
the
when
age that you're already kind of like
age
going
out or
off into the
whatever.
sunset? You know.
Yeah, yeah, because
Um,
I know, like, obviously you have your Tom Brady's, right? But that those are like outliers. But normally, like in football, it's like what, like 38 or so.
I'd say yeah.
Like
Depends on the
even,
position. That's all.
well,
But
yeah, like I said, I
as
mean,
hockey
like,
players, they're all gotta pretty much play on skates. They gotta sprint down the ice and have good puck handling skills. So like the young guys and the old guys, they're speeding against one another, checking each other. Uh, so I mean, I'll research it. I'll see what's the prime age or the cutoff age when a hockey player's career starts to decline. But hopefully he's got a lot more years in him if he wants to try to pass the at least maybe the second all time because 894 and he's at 741 to pass the great one Wayne Gretzky. I think that would take at least two or three
maybe,
more seasons,
yeah. And
and you got to average like one or two scores like every other game.
I was gonna say, how much do they average per season? How much do they score?
I couldn't really say. I don't know the stats on that at the moment. Uh, I mean, hockey is like just like soccer, very low scoring affair sometimes. Uh, games are lucky to just be like 1-0. Uh, so, averages, I don't know, could be one every like 3 or 4 games. It depends on if you got the hot hand, so to speak. But no, that was one of the main headlines I saw of the week. Lastly, I'd say let's see some Blackhawks. So the Blackhawks are going through a bit of some changes. I know there's a bit of a scandal involving one of their former coaches, and then the whole organization as a whole received a lot of flake for how they handled it years prior. So as a bounce back, their player Alex De DeBrenicat, I don't know if I said that correctly, he managed to score within 37 seconds into overtime, which bolstered up the Chicago Blackhawks to 2-1 victory over the Nashville Predators Sunday evening in their interim or new coach, Derek King, in his first coaching debut. So that's good. He gets a win on his first try. Now the Brain Cat, who's the player, he finished two. He finished a 2-on-1 break, and he had a give and go with Patrick Kane to help lift the Blackhawks to their second win of the season. The Brain Cat, he got a return pass from Kane, popped in his seventh goal. Passed. I'm pretty bad at these because a lot of these names are like Europeanish or a bit of French in there. So I'm going to say Jose Saros.
Oh, that's pretty
Uh,
good. There we go. There we go.
from the left side of the net after scoring, the Brain Cat scooped the puck from the back of the net and presented it to King in the dressing room. Pretty much like the game ball, he gave his
That's
coach the
nice.
game puck because it's like your first win, coach. Like, congrats, you got over that hump already. So he gave it to him in the dressing room. Now King, who is their coach, King rather, 54 years old, he was promoted to the Blackhawks' top minor league club, Rockford of the AHL. Then he was Chicago's interim coach after Jeremy Colleton was fired on Saturday following a 1-9-2 start for the Blackhawks. So, new regime already on a good start with a win. Uh, so hopefully things can bounce back. Uh, I mean, the season's very early on. Like I told you, like it lasts just as long as basketball. So there's plenty of time to, get your bearings, see where you are, what improvements need to be made. Now, what I'm kind of uh, what's going to eventually happen, or a storm that'll eventually come by, is we know that the Winter Olympics are going to be starting in a few months' time over there in Beijing, the Winter Olympics. And I think Coach Stosko mentioned months prior that there are certain criteria for like players who want to opt out of like the NHL, for example, to play for the national squads. Uh, so it'd be interesting to see how that goes in a few months' time. Hopefully, I could get more insight into that from Coach Stosko himself. That's just something that's going to be on the horizon. Yeah, it'll be here before we know it. Actually, I mean, damn, we're already like mid-November. We didn't even know it. Well, just about mid-November. Anyway, I'm rambling on. Those are some of the two things I thought were interesting via the hockey world, uh, or my, as I like to say, my "What the Puck" segment. I'm still playing around with different names, but no, I'll definitely keep us posted on anything newsworthy in the world of hockey. Back to you, Dan.
All right, cool. I mean, oh, let's see. We'll see if we can get a couple super fans in here. I know that hockey is one of those sports that obviously has its super fans, but it's very like regional. So just depending what like where you're at and stuff like that. Like um, yeah, obviously not every country or every state is like cold enough to. I guess like obviously you have your indoor stuff, but it's just one of those things where usually like colder country or states, the actual fans themselves play hockey. Like
Mm-hmm.
and in rink, ice rinks and stuff like that. So it's a little bit more like, oh, after we go skate, let's go actually watch the game or whatever, stuff like that.
No, you make a valid point. I think I was
Yeah,
reading something similar to that sentiment, that China is going to play host to the Winter Olympics,
yeah,
even though their country is barely even covered with snow, like in very few parts of the season. So one comment some people who have been making was, should they even, since they're the host country, they already like can qualify for pretty much everything. Every winter sports, they have somebody competing. Now they're like, well, what about men's hockey? Like China is not really known for like anything winter, let alone having them send a bunch of like, I would say, amateur guys
true
to
that.
play hockey against like these toothless like Canadians of the North who like gut check them, and like
I
they look
mean,
like Derek Henry's on ice.
yeah, and they've been playing since like way before we were born.
They
You
were
know,
sliding on ice when they were in the diapers.
yeah, seriously, like literally, like they
So I
literally
was like, it's
were.
gonna be a massacre. They're
And
like, why is she trying to put themselves with that? But it's tradition. You're the host team. You got to play in everything.
you have to. I mean, you can't just not, especially in like such a like in Winter Olympics, such a big sports team like sports team sport like that. So yeah, so I don't know. What do you think, Art? How do you think it's gonna pan out for like the Winter Olympics? You think it's gonna be where they're just gonna be like, all right, dude, you guys can opt out from the for the whole season, for some games, for like what do you think?
I think a good majority of players, depending on the criteria, because I don't know if like it has to be because of age or whatnot or experience, that you're allowed to go play for your host country. Uh, but I mean, if I was in their position, Olympics only comes around every other couple of years or so. By all means, yeah, travel, complete, compete for your nation. Um, I think maybe they would even have a condensed NHL season to accommodate all the players who want to be gone for, I would imagine, it's just a 2 week span. I mean, that's the Summer Olympics was just 2 weeks. I would imagine winter's the same thing. That's not a terrible amount of games, but I think it is going to be a shortened season because I can't foresee them postponing games, so many games. But no, it's something to look into. I'll have to keep tabs on the goings around with the hockey and how it's affected by the Olympics. Slam dunk, swish.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
not
Next.
which. Oh, it's because Danny's trying to give me a signal, and I'm just like, "What is he
Yes,
stretching?"
yes, and
He's cute. He wants to talk a little basketball. This guy wants to talk basketball.
oh.
Hoops. Nice. Well, which kind of hoops?
All right,
We do
let's go
got
ahead.
college and we do got
You know
pros.
what? Let's do some. Let's actually do some college hoops. We haven't done some college hoops. Yeah, let's do some college hoops. We haven't done that in a while.
That's right, Danny. We haven't done it since way back when we had the rest of the crew on board and we were all getting into the NCAA tournament. It came down to the wire last year. It was Gonzaga versus Baylor, and the Baylor Bears, they prevailed. I'm not too sure what the score was, but so we're back at it again.
Oh,
Baseball
there you
finished,
go. There you
a new
go.
sport takes its place. So let the games begin. Season commences this evening. We got a good slate of games. I mean, some of them are foregone conclusions because it's the big dogs versus like the the amateurs and like what we call a tune-up game, where it's just basically a beatdown. But there are a few gems that were going on this evening. One of which, our final score was Kansas. They played Michigan State, two storied franchises in the hoops world. Um, it was close, but Kansas edged them out, 87-74. I'm not sure who played host, but needless to say, I'm pretty sure those two squads will show up in like other events. Like they always have mini tournaments every now and then. So looking at that, my Texas Longhorns are hosting Houston Baptist. Uh, Not really sure what the score is. I've been keeping tabs on it. Uh, Now, the good thing is basketball is not in four quarters; it's in two long halves. Uh, so the games don't press on nearly as long as a few hours. Here we go, folks. Longhorns are currently up, almost the bottom of the first half. I want to say 35-21. So good shit. Uh, I believe they they poached their head coach from Texas Tech after they got rid of Shaka Smart. So hopefully that new coach, I'm not sure what his name is, but hopefully he gets his first career win with the Horns. Uh, there's Kentucky Duke. I think that was the biggest marquee matchup of the evening. That's probably going on at this moment. Um, and then a few others: Houston, Hofstra, never heard of them. Arkansas, Mercer, Morehead State with Auburn. Mount St. Mary's gonna get the beat down from Villanova. North Carolina Tar Heels facing Loyola, Maryland. I don't know if it's the same Loyola that people know or if it's just an affiliate. Who cares? And then, of course, the second place Gonzaga, currently ranked number one, actually. They're playing Dixie State. Go figure. So for the second straight year, Gonzaga will tip off the college basketball season as the consensus favorite to win the national championship. Now those Zags are favorites at 6-1 and are the only team with odds within single digits as per Caesar Sports Books. Michigan, Villanova, and UCLA are next at odds of 2-1, followed by Texas, Purdue, and Kentucky, which are odds put at 14-1. Gonzaga returns 42% of their scoring from last season's squad, which lost to Baylor in the national championship game. Leading scorer Drew Timme. It returns for Coach Mark Few's squad, which also added freshman Chet Holmgren, the number one overall prospect of the class of 21, as per ESPN's 100 list. Now the college basketball season's going underway this evening with a big slate, highlighted by that doubleheader in that Champions Classic that could mark the retiring of Duke coach Mike Krzyzewski's last game at Madison Square Garden. The Blue Devils are 1 point favorites over Kentucky in the second game. Uh, Kansas, they were a 4.5 favorite over Michigan State, and I just told you they won, so kudos to them. Duke, they're 16-1. They're, let's see, they're Duke has the odds of 16-1 to win the national championship from Caesar Sportbook, along with Kansas. Michigan State is 30-1 odds. Gonzaga hosting Dixie State. I don't even have to check the score. We all know it's a foregone conclusion. It's a beatdown. Let's see, Few will not coach against Dixie State as he serves a 1 game suspension after being cited for driving under the influence in the offseason. That's the coach of the Zags. Not that they need him. They could put in the towel boy to coach and they'll still cream Dixie State like, I don't know, they'll win by like 40 points. There's going to be like a mercy rule or someone needs to throw in the towel. But yes, college football's back. Boom. There's going to be a crap ton of games every week.
Basketball, college basketball.
What did I say?
College football.
Oh, well, that's also good. No, basketball. College basketball is back. So pretty much there's got to be something to watch every single day.
No lie.
In the sporting world.
It's going to be cool. Like, especially watching those Wednesday, Tuesday games and stuff like that. Because, like, those, like, really good teams should be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
What teams are you looking forward to this? I think, honestly, I'm really, I mean, not to be biased, but I'm really looking forward to UT. I think their team is going to be pretty deep. I think it can make a very, very deep run. We just need to see them play. You
know. No doubt. Yeah, let's see how they go under the new coach's regime. They were in the thick of it last season. They just kind of missed their mark. I think they made it into the Sweet 16, I would like to say. But no, every year it seems Texas tries to get a little better and better at basketball and their recruiting. So obviously I'm going to be cheering them on. Baylor, they're the defending champs, even though they're not, I don't know, maybe they lost a couple of guys to the draft, and maybe that's why they're not ranked so high. Let's see if they can, go back to the top of the mountain. I mean, UTSA, once upon a time, they've had some decent basketball teams in the tournament, I think. Maybe they could, do as their football team and surprise everybody. Other than that, just want to see some good, exciting games. No blowouts. It'll be like a Friday. If you go out and get a few drinks on a Friday or Thursday, like, hey, there's a game on. Hopefully, it's like a good game, a good matchup. This is where the Cinderellas come. We don't see it very much in college football because you already know where the powerhouses is. But in college basketball, anybody can beat anybody. And that's what makes it exciting. Now,
do you think, I don't know, kind of ponders a question, like, real quick, like what if, like, switch basketball and football, right? Like, the way the tournaments are.
Uh-huh.
Is it do you feel it's super unfair for basketball? Like, basketball right now, right? Obviously, you have the tournament and then the Sweet 16, 64 teams, and then whatever, right? Like you said, Cinderella teams or whatever. But as is right now, the college football playoffs, it's only the top 4. So imagine if college was if basketball was like that instead.
With just 4-team tournament?
Just 4 teams. Just the final 4. That's it. Do you think that would be unfair?
It could very well be unfair just because the margin of, let's see, I was going to say margin, not a margin of error, but, how you measure one team from another is by very minuscule amounts, and sometimes it's unite, sometimes it's not unite. Um, in pro basketball, it's best of seven. Why? Because not every game's the same. It would suck to see like a one and done
Yeah.
with just four teams when there's like a lot of good potential out there. I mean, look at players like John Morant. He was from like a very no name Mickey Mouse school, and dude's like the top dude at Oklahoma Thunder right now. So talent could be anywhere.
Grizzlies. He's with the Grizzlies.
Oh, excuse me. I gotta fire my editor. The Grizzlies. John Morant is a beast with the Grizz. And he was from like just no name school, like I've Akron.
Yeah.
He was from
Seriously,
Akron or something like that.
Murray State or something.
Murray State. Oh, I want to say Akron, but yeah, something like that. Very low key name. You wouldn't know it unless you live in that state. Uh, so there's a lot of diamonds in the rough out there that are just waiting to be unearthed, and that's what the beauty of these 64 team tournaments can do. You can see stars rise. You can see villains. Uh, Guys pretty much playing for you know to impress the scouts. Uh, and there's hidden gems out there abroad too in Europe. I mean, maybe a high school kid opts out of college hoops, and they're trying to work their way up through the Australian league or whatever the leagues are in France or Eastern Western Europe. Uh, but yeah, basketball. Uh, you can see a lot of great talent, and I think it'd be a better exhibition if it was just more than four teams.
That is true. I think that like because they're saying obviously that football it's a little harder. It's a little bit more of it's a tougher sport. You can't play, like you were saying, like in football in the NBA, you play, best of seven. You play best of you play like two or three series of of games before you can even reach the finals, right?
Yeah.
Whereas
Uh,
like in football, it's just win one game and you're good. Whereas you can have a really, really bad game and that's your bad, dude. You're out, you know? Um, but in football, you strain your body a little bit more. So you could
yes.
say like in college, it's like oh well because they're trying to add how they're trying to add or enlarge or make the college football playoffs bigger, make
To
them two
8 or 12 team formatting.
yeah, which I think makes sense, but that's besides the point. But it's really on at the end of the day, it really is going to be on the kids, on the actual athletes themselves, where um because they're going to be pulling, they're going to be doing the actual work. They're going to be putting what 2 3 extra games, a season, just
Hmm.
to get to the finals, because just getting
Yes.
just getting to the final game, like to the championship game, is hard already, so I don't think it's perfect right now. I think they're working on their way of making it a little bit better, getting a chance to like maybe like UTSA. UTSA having like a Cinderella um story,
Football season. Yeah.
football season, where we can get in like that. Where if it was like kind of like a basketball format, we might be able to beat some teams, or go against Oklahoma and like give them a battle. You're like, oh dang, what's up with this? Maybe not win, but maybe not lose. Maybe give them a little battle and be like, oh dang, and then pull a W, whatever. But I don't know, just kind of something kind of to think about. If you chat, you guys wanna go in there and insert your opinion. Where like if um if it were to essentially the question is if you to switch uh, sp- uh sports in which basketball only has a final four only, and football has a full on tournament, would it be fair still to each sport, or not? Imagine, dude, like 64 teams.
They would pretty much start that tournament like midway in the
I was
season.
gonna say there'd probably be like not there'd probably no non conference games anymore.
There'd be no non-conference games, and you probably only play like 4 or 5 conference games per se, and then that'll determine positioning where you lie in that bracket of 64.
Maybe you can get like a lottery, like not like a lottery system, but like kind of like a, like last year you did really bad, so
Well,
yeah.
we forget that in college, like in that tournament style, like they play it like, oh, in the next 3 days or in 2 days. College, you need the rest, man. Uh, you need at least a week to rest. Obviously, we know that for football. So 1 week, and then how if you do a 1 week per each round, like how many damn weeks is going to take to get to the the championship game?
Yeah, I was gonna say like because
That can
it,
be
it takes like how much? It's like what, a month for the
64,
64?
32, 16, 4, and 2. That's 5 weeks.
No, 16, 8, then 4.
Oh, 6 weeks. It's a 6 week tournament if you want to try that 64 bracket.
So what, you? I guess you wouldn't have a preseason. Did does Because college football even have a preseason?
Mm,
It's kind of, it's like it was like what you were saying, tune up games.
it's the tune-up games, out of conference games.
Like for the first 3 weeks or whatever. I mean, essentially
I
that's what it
mean,
is.
Texas versus Rice, Oklahoma versus Tulsa, stuff like that. You don't need that.
Yeah. So all right, man. Let's go and move right into our NBA headlines. See what's going on there. Unless you
Yeah.
have anything else.
No, 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 no. That's cool. We move on from the college hoops to the big hoops.
Yeah. Get some.
So
Get some around the rim going.
if you want to jam, yeah, we're gonna slam dunk. Okay.
Oh.
All right, basketball. There was three. Surprisingly, there's just a few games this evening, but all three of them are pretty legit. You got the Bucks and the 76ers. That was earlier this evening. The Bucks did outlast Sixers in Philadelphia, score 118 to 109. Hawks Jazz. I need to look up that score. And currently the game that I'm watching right now is Trailblazers at the Clippers. So I mean that's got some Western preview right there. Maybe in the playoffs, see Trailblazers Clippers there, uh, as well as the Bucks 76ers. That was a rematch, or could be a sign of a matchup we see in the East once we get playoff time. I need to look up that Hawks Jazz game because that looked pretty interesting. You got Trey Young on one end, and then you got Donovan Mitchell, and it's the Rudy Gobert on the other side.
Dude, and I'll see what's was it Jordan? Is it Jordan Clark? Or who's the sixth man from NBA? Watch. No, from the Utah Jazz. Utah. Hold on.
That's all right.
Yeah,
That's all right.
Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson. So
Okay, Clarkson.
Real quick. Uh, let's see. Yeah. So actually, yeah. So Clarkson. Just so you guys know, I'm getting kind of random, but he actually went to San Antonio. He's from Wagner High School.
Okay, he's
So
a high
yeah,
school alum from
and
that
now,
same area.
yeah, and he won Six Man of the Year last year. And apparently he's doing really good. He's averaging a pretty good um, or he's doing really good this season. He's averaging 14.7 games, made like a couple rebounds, couple of assists.
with the
Uh,
Jazz, correct?
but the Jazz, yeah, but just kind
I
of,
think I think he saw a lot of minutes in the playoffs last season when
yeah,
Mitchell went out,
yeah,
and that's
yeah,
how this guy started to become a household name, so to speak.
yeah. So just like a little bit of, just like what's
Got to
it called?
recognize our Texas players out there,
Yeah,
Texas-born and raised players out there.
no lie. Yeah, but all right. Well, just like as we move into the season. Oh, anything else? All right, sorry, my bad.
No, no, no. I mean, I got a few storylines from the NBA world, but I could go into what you want to say.
Yeah, just more than anything, just want to talk about Spurs. Obviously, west of the West. You guys know what's up. Um, just we'll do a little bit more of a Spurs talk next time. But just want to kind of give like I guess a quick update on like the Spurs world. So right now we're not obviously doing so good. The team is
3-7.
yeah, they're 3-7. Unfortunately, they're not doing so good this year. I don't think they'll get to 40 wins this year. I think they might hit
Oh no!
they might hit like maybe 30, maybe 25. Yeah, I
Oh no!
know. But
Lie to me, man. Just lie to me.
I think, unfortunately, it's just one of those things where the pace is getting faster. The young ones are playing a little bit. I think they're playing a little bit better. People are like, "Oh no, they're not." I don't know, man. You see Dejounte, he's making me buy a shirt. And I just kind of believe in Keldon Johnson as just our future or our big set piece for our future as well. And this year, Lonnie Walker, he's pulling it out of the bag. And just like a lot of people that are just kind of a lot of young kids that are just kind of growing before our eyes. I think in maybe a two, three couple of years we might be able to start contending. But obviously, I think Dejounte Murray, I think he can pull it off. I didn't think he was just gonna grow like that. I would like for him to up in his points a little bit more. He does involve his teammates a lot. Right now he's averaging 17 a game. So I mean 17 a game. He's averaging like almost 8 rebounds and 8 assists, dude. Like he's literally almost averaging a triple double. Like F, uh, you know, Westbrook. You know, like god
Not that guy.
dang. No, seriously. Like okay, I don't even know what his triple double average was, but I mean, I'm not saying he's better than him, but he's hell of a lot more efficient. I don't know. I trust Dejounte Murray. I think that he can handle it the pressure now. I didn't think he would. He's shown me this that he's been a little bit better. Oh, but Danny, he's been missing a lot of clutch free throws at the end of the game. Yes, he has. I think it's all experience, dude. They're just young. Like they have no one there. Who's a vet? Uh, Forbes? Seriously? Like who else? I mean,
White.
White. I mean, Dejounte Murray. Obviously, right? He's the only one. And then the big presence there is Keldon, but Keldon is still young, dude. He's 22. The oldest guy there is young. Theta's young. He's 33. And then you have a McDermott, and he's 30. Dude, like these guys are like there's two people over 30. Everyone else is under the age of 28. So, I think they have a lot of games to play. I think they're very young. I think they're gonna very it's gonna be it's just a process. So when people like Danny, they're losing close games, they can't close out. Yes, they cannot close out. They can't. They're like, oh, but it's because we need that one guy. No, they just need to close out. That's it. Sometimes you just can't close out. Sometimes I mean, we saw it and we'll go into it for UT. We talked about it literally. dude,
Oh no.
they play a good game, dude. First quarter, second quarter, take backs, turnovers, running game. Damn, look at that, like 70-yard touchdown, whatever, right? Fourth
Yeah.
quarter comes, it's like, boom, they just switch off. Like their controller just runs out of battery, and it's just, no. Like, it's just, they just, and so this, but what happened? Why? Because they're still young. There's a good coach, whatever. I mean, it's a completely different sport, right? Because there's more people involved. But and where basketball, your individual, an individual player has that much more of an impact towards a team overall, right? So I think that it is a learning experience. I think after this year, they're gonna learn a lot. I don't see them making the playoffs, unfortunately. They might make it like a barely outside of the bubble, because it's like from the 8, the 10, right? Top 10,
Yeah. Like
like
battle it, and then
seven,
they got to battle
seven,
for
8,
eighth.
9, 10. Yeah, 7, 8, 9, 10. Got to 7, 8, 9, 10 battled for 7, 8.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so right now, obviously, I don't think that they might. I don't even think they'll make the
they
bubble.
even did that far. Yeah. You don't think?
So, which is good. I mean, people. I mean, it's good. Like, we can't win and then advance in the development of the team. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we need more. We need more. We need like a good wing. Poto is doing really good. Eubanks is doing really good, but we need an athletic big maybe, or get a very very good wing like a damn star. I think Primo is gonna do really good. I think Forbes is a good presence. I think the probably the brightest light right now in the Spurs definitely has to be Devin Vassell. Um, I think he's gonna be that guy, dude, where he's just gonna be kind of like a Danny Green, like a bigger, like bigger, more offensive Danny Green, where he's like lengthier, but he'll have that energy where like he'll be the energy on the defender, because he's lengthy. But he's a little bit more of he can score a little bit more. So I don't know. We'll see how like the Pop will mold him. He knows what to do. We just don't. Unfortunately, as fans, we can talk as much as we want. But I know Pop as a coach, he has a little bit more experience. I believe in this team. I don't think we're gonna win a lot of games. Like I said, I think we might win maybe 25 at the most. Maybe even then, even at that, maybe 20. But I know, dude, I know. But we have to think about it as fans. For the development of the team. This year we weren't meant to win a championship. This year is meant for us to develop. So whenever they lose, so right now at the very beginning, dude, I don't mind if they lose games. I don't. At least close games or whatever. And if they blow that, we're getting these random blowouts, whatever, do it. I don't mind it. When towards the end, if we keep losing the same way, then it's like, pues qué onda? Like, if we're just losing barely, or we're just losing different ways, where we're like, all right, cool, we need to improve this other ways, whatever, right? Or if a team is just better than you, they're just better than you. But if we keep doing the same thing over and over and over, the same turnovers, we keep, we have a chance, and then we miss free throws, we miss free throws, we miss free throws. I'm like, dude, you're not doing anything. We're not doing anything. We're not going anywhere. That's like missed free throws, turnovers, stuff like that. Those are things that that you can fix. They're not talent wise, or no, they're just mental errors. They're discipline, and I think as a team, the Spurs can eventually start molding themselves into getting a really core going. I think they're gonna offer Lonnie Walker a contract. I think other teams are gonna offer him a better contract, honestly. But I think he might stay. I think he might stay. Uh, so that's just kind of like I know I talked a little bit more than I thought it was. I thought I was going to, but
That's fine. You're a super fan of the Spurs.
yeah,
You're
but
very
we I mean
passionate, and you wanted to unload on what your thoughts are.
yeah. So I mean I'll probably post this rant online honestly, just because there's not a lot of Spurs rants, you know. So that's my Spurs rant for today. Hope you guys liked it. Thank you so much. But yeah, I just wanted to give my just like my Spurs state of mind, state of the union, if you will, with everything going on. So I guess just to conclude, you know, even if the Spurs lose games, that's okay, just as long as they don't continue losing the same way. Boom. All right.
Noted.
All right.
Yes, they did lose to the Thunder. There were some good things. Keldon Johnson at 22. Lonnie Walker, he added 15 points. Eubanks, he had 14 and 11 rebounds. Um, some bad things. Well, Derek White, he actually missed all 10 of his shots. He didn't score. He did enter the game averaging 13.7 and do nothing. Uh, so what's up? Let's say they're going to host the Sacramento Kings tomorrow, actually. Now, unfortunately, Yaka Pertl is still out for health and safety protocol reasons. In addition, Zach Collins, he'll be out due to issues with his ankle. So short staffed again. Hopefully, your home crowd over there in SA, the baseline bums, and everyone else can help cheer on Pop Squad to at least get out of this current slump they're in. Uh, yeah, man, we'll have to check out one of these games in person uh, later on. As the regular season continues on.
All
Uh,
right.
Now, I think one of the more dominant storylines in the basketball world was what the hell happened at that Nuggets Heat
Oh
game
my
the other evening.
god.
So
All right, go
emotion.
for it. I'll let you. I'll let you. Dude, that was. And I saw the TNT crew talk about it. Well,
Yeah.
I'll let you. I'll let you. Just go ahead. Just explain. Go for it. Go for it.
All right, cool. So emotions from NBA MVP Nikola Jokic retaliatory body check from behind on Miami Heat forward Markieff Morris on Monday night have spilled into social media as both players' brothers are starting to weigh in. So as the league looks into whether to levy any further punishment over the Denver Nuggets star's ejection after his run-in with Morris with 2.39 left in the fourth quarter in that Nuggets 113-96 win over the Heat. Uh, LA Clippers forward Marcus Morris, the brother of Markieff, his twin, he chimed in on Twitter. Nikola Jokic, he does face some likely possible suspensions after he took exception to a bit of a hard foul by Markieff Morris. Uh, you see, Jokic, he rebounded the ball. He was just trying to bring it down court. He passed the ball like around near midcourt. That's when Morris, he tried to stop the play. He gave a bit of a hard foul, and he dug in his left elbow a little bit into Jokic's right side, exposed right side.
Oh no!
As the center was trying to deliver that overhead pass. So as Morris walked away, acting like he didn't do nothing, an irate Jokic took a couple of steps and delivered a hard right forearm, or stiff arm rather, shove with his weight behind him to Morris's back. I thought he sold it a bit, but Morris really hit the deck and sold it, uh, sending the Heat forward, flying towards the floor. Morris, he was assessed a flagrant foul too. Jokic, on the other hand, he was ejected. He left with a triple double of 25 points, 15 rebounds, 10 assists. The reigning MVP said that he felt the need to protect himself, but that he felt the bad later on after seeing how hard he shoved Morris's in the back. Um, I mean, there's a bit of a rule, you don't, if you're going to, step up to somebody, you don't do it via the back. Uh, I saw the play multiple times. I thought it was a little malicious how Morris did that foul and then just nonchalantly just try to walk away like he didn't do nothing, like a hit and run. Jokic, he had every right to every right to retaliate, except he did it in a wrong way. He pushed the guy in the back, and I think he sold it for what it's worth. Uh, there was a bit of a heated exchange. I think some of the Heat players were trying to look for him in the Nuggets locker room or
I
some shit
saw
like
that,
that.
dude. I saw it was
Uh,
like a picture of a movie. Like, God.
Jokic's brothers are getting into
I
a
was gonna
heated Twitter
say,
battle with the other Morris twin. It's all kinds of crazy. It's for us fans, it's fun. Uh, so, what were your thoughts on it? I didn't think it was that bad of a shove.
yeah, me
He
neither.
sold it.
Yeah, and well, I think he did hit him pretty hard. Actually, I think he did like chicken wing him like a little bit harder than he like it was a hard foul. Like he should have gotten kicked out. Like
Okay, it was a worthy suspension.
it was a worthy suspension. It was, but it was like he had to, dude. You can't, you know,
I mean, if
like
you per se happened to you, the same thing happened to you, whether it's soccer or any other sport, someone just like elbows you like right in your exposed gut,
yeah,
and then
like
just walk the fuck away. Excuse my language. We're after dark already.
yeah, but no, yeah, I would do the same thing. I
Yeah,
would
we're
push, be like I would push. I would push, and the coach kicked me out. Like, dude, he elbowed me. Like, I'm not gonna let him do that. Like, I just can't. Like,
nope.
because if you do that, then everyone else is gonna start doing that, and like around the league, you're gonna get that rep of like just be like, oh, I can just do whatever I want with this guy, and he won't talk or whatever. So it's just one of those things. It's weird, but and it really isn't like machismo or anything like that. It's just rap, like straight up. You know, you have to, stand up for yourself. I mean, these are professional. Yeah, they have millions of dollars and stuff, but they're professionals. But they're still like damn human. Ooh, damn Arturo, you know what's up.
Oh, yeah. But yes, no. And some people were speculating maybe that could be a trap. You send in your worst bench player, shove Jokic in a heated game, he gets suspended. Your worst bench player gets suspended. So now you can face a Jokic less Nuggets team.
That's pretty
Like
smart.
that could be a pretty. That's a tactic. Could be a tactic. He was a hothead. You could suspend his ass, and that way you could beat the Nuggets. That's just speculation, of course. But no, definitely anyone would have the same reaction. Uh, push him, whatever. Like, hey man, like you're in the wrong, and I'm gonna show you you're in the wrong. So Jokic, yeah, he felt a little bit bad about it, but no, man, like you're the MVP, like you're the face of your franchise, and he'll be disrespected like that again. Wrong. Talking about
Yeah,
Marquise Morris, man. Wrong.
yeah. Oh no, you can't. It's just you just can't. Like in soccer, dude, if you're in the neighborhood and like boom and te tiran un codazo, you walk away like, hey, what's up? Like we're not even playing. Like it was out of play. Not it wasn't out of play, but it was definitely not a basketball move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like it was like if it's not a soccer move, if it's not like if it's just like a random golpe or random hit, like hey, what's up, man? Like I'm not doing anything. Like boom, like you have to. So I mean I understand the Heat, team, how like Jimmy, um, he got all mad. You see him on the court?
There was some mixed reactions by the Heat. I think people were joking around. Yeah, Tyler Hero, like he did the
Oh
right thing
yeah,
by not taking on Jokic.
I dude, that's the first. Literally, I was like, "Who's around him? Who's around him?" And then
I don't want to be a part of that.
it's just like,
He did
"Hey,"
it.
because he's like, "Hey." He's like, "Hey," because he's like, I literally saw him, dude. Like I saw him, like, "Hey."
So I need to go get a coach to break this up.
Just pull back. I mean, dude, this guy is that's 100 pounds on you minimum. Probably a
He's a
foot.
he's a human bear, and you're still like a young guy with like a high school, barely a high school body. Okay, he's got a young college man's body. He's playing
Still,
against
like,
grown ass men though.
God, like, this is big. Yeah, that's a scary dude. What would you
Yeah,
do? What would you do? It was no. It's because that's the thing. Like, and okay, so talk about how like they're ass Shaq and
Kenny,
and not Shaq, but it's in Chuck.
Chuck.
They're like, everybody was like, wait, was that a hard foul? And then they're like, no, it wasn't. It's like, what do you mean? Like, it looked hard. It's like, well, yeah, but you can't hit someone in the back and then just walk away. Like, you just can't. Like, you're gonna get hit back. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like the
Yeah.
equivalent of just being like, oh, whatever. Like, hey, what? Just getting pushed in the middle. Like, hey, what's up? Like, obviously, what are you gonna do? You're gonna push back. Like, you're not gonna walk away. Like, you just can't. At that moment, you have to defend your like, I don't know, your honor, but
No, no, you got to show that you're not going to be anybody's doormat.
yeah, and you can't be pushed around, especially like in sports, especially if you're gonna be a
Uh,
center, like a center,
yeah.
and
Some,
you're the MVP, dude.
yeah, you got to like show them early. Like, I ain't gonna stand around for this shit. I'm gonna stand up for yourself. And that's what Jokic did. But he's a big man, so he shoved Marquise and he went flying to the deck. But no, we'll see what develops from this later on. Already looking forward to a rematch between the two. Hell, even with the Marcus Morris brother. See if there's any bad blood with him when they face the Clippers,
No
the
lie,
McNuggets.
no lie. That is true though.
But no, that was one of the more funny or entertaining storylines that everyone's been talking about. Uh, just real quick, some other things. Boston Celtics guard Jalen Brown will miss the next 1 to 2 weeks with a right hamstring strain. Uh, he was the Celtics' leading scorer with career high 20, 25.6 points per game. Uh, he already missed one game after a buzzer beater loss to Dallas on Saturday. Um, so they're going to definitely be missing Brown, especially after there's a bit of bad blood. Not bad blood, but they had a players only meeting to discuss all the shit talking that Marcus Smart's been uh, talking. He's not appreciated very much. So right now it's a little bit not hostile, but they need to figure out some things over there in Boston.
So what if
And
they trade for Simmons? Oh,
uh, they
did you
trade
hear
for
that?
Simon.
Did you hear that?
They're thinking about it. Who
So
they
they're
give
thinking.
away?
So I was just reading on it that in this case they're thinking of doing a trade. Well, obviously with picks and stuff like that. Um, for Jalen Brown.
They're gonna get rid of their best scorer,
For Simmons.
Simmons.
And they have Tatum. They have Tatum. I mean, they do have Tatum. He can score, but I mean,
Oh, you got Curry, but who needs Klay Thompson, right?
I
You
mean,
need multiple scorers, Danny.
no, well,
And not guys who choke.
that's what I'm saying.
the moment
I
called
mean,
for it.
don't kill the messenger, bro. I'm just saying.
I
You
know.
know.
It doesn't look like a very sexy deal. It's very one-sided. I mean, whoever gets Simmons, it's not gonna be a fair trade. Just that's my thoughts, 2 cents. But no, we're still on that Simmons watch. Hopefully, the Jalen Brown stays put with the Celtics. And lastly, all I want to say is Warriors. They're looking like they're one of the top contenders. Not even a dark horse. They're back into the thick of it in the West. Steph Curry records 50 points, 10 assists, win over the Hawks. They improved to 9-1. Steph Curry scored an NBA season high 50 points. They beat Golden State's win 127-113 over the Hawks. That was Monday night. He was 14 of 28 from the field, 9 for 19 beyond the three range, and 13 for 13 from free throw. Big surprise there. Now, what does that mean for Curry? Well, it was the 10th 50-point game for Curry in his career, uh, and he became the third Warriors player in franchise history to put up a line of 50 points and 10 assists, joining the likes of legendary Wilt Chamberlain, who achieved the feat back in 1963, and Rick Barry. For those of you who know, Brent Barry and Robert Barry is daddy from 1974. Uh, so don't look now, man. Warriors 9-1. They're gonna be getting Clay real soon. They're starting to hit it on all cylinders with Draymond Green, getting that motivated. Clay Thompson recovering from ACL Achilles injury, and they're optimistic the two-time MVP can help rally his team to keep getting back to their winning ways. Any thoughts about the success, the silent success of the Warriors out there in the West?
Yeah. Actually, I actually think they might win the whole thing.
I don't believe it.
Um,
That's logical, yeah.
I mean, they don't really have a lot of holes. Lately, obviously, they have a couple of injury or players that were injured that are coming back, including the Ricky Wiseman or whatever it is. I don't even know what level he is now. Since
He's
he,
sophomore.
yeah, sophomore. So essentially, he didn't even play his first year anyway.
Yeah, he didn't play a full.
So he's like essentially still a rookie. But I think the Warriors might mess around and win the whole thing. Honestly, think about it. I mean, the Lakers are just too old. The Utah they're just too inconsistent. Nuggets roll as Jokic rolls. I mean, that's his bottom line. I mean, he can put up 40, 10, 40, 20, and 10, but they can still lose. You know?
He can't do it all.
He just can't. So we'll figure that out with them. And I think that who else in the West? Portland just they're really really inconsistent. I just Lillard is just kind of like a little having a little bit of a slump there, and just I don't really feel like any other team really just like gives me a lot of confidence for the West, other than the Warriors. If you think about it, I mean, other than that, I don't see any other team. Um, and more than anything, I think that just like going just right into the finals, I think the East is. I don't think the East is stronger. I still don't think the East is stronger. I just think they're a lot more stronger now. But I still don't think that they're like the best of the best of the best. I think that at some point we'll see a little bit more of a balance between them. But the only other team, dude, that I can see maybe they're just so real inconsistent though. It's just the Mavericks. I don't believe in the Grizzlies. I just don't. I just don't believe in John Morant enough. I just don't. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, Grizzlies. You guys can get a couple more years and get a little bit more experience, John Morant. Um, the Mavs need a very good second option. I feel like they don't really have it. And all right, good, for them to be able to push in the West. And the Suns, dude, the Suns are all over the place. I just don't even trust the Suns. I just don't. I just don't. I don't know what the record is. I don't really care what the record is. I just think that I just don't trust them. And now you go to the East, and so now you see the balance of power. It's a little bit more balanced. The Nets, dude, I feel like they're number 3 in the East.
Okay, who's the first two then?
Probably not lately,
Bucks.
not lately, but yes, the Bucks, because they're like 4-6 right now.
Oh, and who's number 2 above the Nets? The Heat.
No, I want to say the 76ers, dude, just because Embiid is playing really good. Or like the team is playing really good. I mean, regardless of what's going on with Ben Simmons, The team is playing really good. Um, the Bulls are like maybe four. You know,
They're,
I I
yeah,
think I think the Heat are pretty good. I think the Bulls are pretty good. I think between the Heat and the Bulls right now they would go all the way to a game 7. So that's a big toss up. Um, I don't trust the Knicks at all. The Nets, I do trust them to win a 7 game series. Um, Harden is still learning how to be Harden in this new, you know, less foul, NBA world, if you will. And
it's kind of affecting his game now
it
that
is, dude. And the
he could
Nets,
be called
and
for
then
this.
The whole Kyrie thing is just really, really bad. I mean, KD can only, sustain only so much himself. So, but I think the 76ers, once they get rid of Ben Simmons, wherever it is that they're gonna send them or how cut them or whatever it is they're gonna do, they're really gonna just jump into the atmosphere, into whatever it is that they want to do, and just really since they're I think they're heading there. Um, but yeah, what do you think?
No, definitely. Want to see what changes need to be made. Obviously, where Simmons is going to end up. When's Kyrie Irving going to come back to play? Because both their teams, they're kind of slumping a bit, carrying a bit of this extra baggage. Uh, you know, of these two players not being able to play. Their organizations are scrambling to try to find solutions to these issues. It's a distraction off the court. Uh, I mean, thankfully, it's still early in the season that they can, find uh, viable solutions uh, for each one of their respective problems. Um, but yeah, definitely the East still could be any. It's up for grabs right now with the slumping Nets. It's up for grabs. We'll just have to monitor and see, man. Uh, right now, I mean, unrelated, but halftime Clippers Blazers. Everyone's saying Damian Lillard. He's kind of been slumping of recent. Uh, we could go into more of that later on. Uh, I think it's a basketball, bro. It's a conspiracy. Okay. It is 10 o'clock, but we were already after dark even like an hour ago. So it's Mezzo Forte Sportz after dark.
Oh,
That's right, we're after dark. It's after hours, unregulated, uncensored. Uh, I don't know all the other isms. Uh, now we're good. Enjoying some good basketball, college and pros. Sipping on a bit of alcohol, because why not? It's Tuesday. You saw a little bit earlier. I'm on some Bohemia. Very underrated beer. Not for
nice.
chugging, but enjoy every sip of this mother trucker, which I currently am.
I am
Uh,
just drinking Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola. I mean, sponsoring coming soon. No, no.
if we get Coke to sponsor us, it needs to be like the pure cane sugar from Mexico.
Yeah.
I need that real sugar.
It's like
Not this artificial corn syrup crap.
it's like some Coca-Cola Mexicana. It's like the
Yeah.
only one. Coca-Cola Mexicana is the only one who ever gets sponsored because it's the best.
Yes, does. I want to see the fluid measured in the metric system. None of this ounces and shit like that. Liters. Oh no, liters. But no, legit soda. Also, I think you had Hoya or Fanta,
Yeah.
the Manzana, apple soda. I mean, if you haven't experienced apple soda in your life, give it a try. You'd be pleasantly surprised how cool and crisp it is.
Yeah, actually.
It's not a sugar. You would think it's sugary, but it's not. I think a Sprite is more sugary than the Manzana, the Fanta or Hoya. That's a hot take for another day. I know we got a lot of football to talk about. I just want to very gloss over some MLB. I think maybe by, if not Thursday or next week, we'll know some of the winners of some of the the regular season awards, like the American League MVP, National League MVP, the Cy Young Award, Rookie of the Year. Um, the race is getting pretty tight with the finalists. Uh, I could go on who's on the ballot. Fuck it. I'll just say who the winners are once we cross that bridge. Uh, so don't think we forgot about baseball just yet. We'll wait for all the finalists to see who wins each of one of these major awards once the votes get tallied up. So without further ado, we'll get into some football. You want to go with college or do the express college, or just go right into pros?
We'll do pros first because we haven't done pros in a while first.
All right, week 9 recap. A lot of upsets. A lot of upsets. I think the biggest upset was the Bills losing to the Jags. Jags won 9-6. Another upset, we saw our Cowboys. Our Cowboys really slumped very badly. Yeah, what was the score? I had the score written down here. It was so bad I didn't even want to see the score, but
I know.
30-16. And that 16 was like pity points. So that was way after we got blown out that they started to allow us to score. The Browns, they ran up the score 41-16. Said fuck Odell Bell Jr.
Seriously.
And your daddy in his Instagram. We don't need you. Falcons beat the Saints 27-25. That was predictable. A very Aaron Rodgers-less Packers lost 7 to a very weakened Chiefs 13. Man, Chiefs are slumping, and I mean, at least the Packers had a reason for slumping. They had no quarterback. The Chiefs got everybody, and they still slump. Cardinals, man, they keep dominating. Even after they lost, they dominated. The 49ers, 31-17. Steelers won against the Bears. That was a close one.
That was, dude. That game was crazy. You didn't see it?
No. I don't like either team,
bro. That game, I mean, it's not one of those games that you normally see it. But so there was they were down by I don't know how many points, but at some point, dude, like the guy just like the kick returner, he grabs the ball and he spins out to try to get out of a tackle and just fall to the ground. But as he's trying to spin out, they punch the ball out. Dude, the team just grabs it and makes a touchdown. And we're like, oh, but it didn't look like, not like real, but it looked like, oh, they're gonna stop the ball, or he was already fumbled or whatever. No, it was legitimate. So after that, like the Bears just started balling. And
they did not go out quietly to the night.
No. I mean, they had the last attempt, it was like 66 or 65 yard attempt or whatever. And I was literally telling the guys, I'm like, dude, if he makes this, dude, this is literally history. Like, you're literally witnessing history right now.
The field goal attempt.
No, but it was bad. He dude, he missed it by
they would have been better off with the Hail Mary and some laterals.
Yeah, maybe 10 yards. Like, he needed 10 more yards. Yeah, dude. We thought it hit the pole, but no. And then we saw the replay. I was like, no.
Sure.
So I don't know. That was a good game. So kudos.
That was good. The Steelers and the Bears.
The Bears.
Resiliency.
And really, one of the things that I heard someone talk about it, that the Bears lost the game, but they gained a franchise quarterback. So
a new era. Fuck Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
He could be the backup's backup. Speaking of backups, what up with Adrian Peterson, man? Derek Henry, no problem. Titans cruise in SoFi Stadium on the road. The Rams, I don't know what it was about Titans defense. They made Stafford look like he was back with the Lions. He couldn't do nothing. That was another shocker of the evening, I think. Uh, I mean, not that entertaining, but defense was just hounding Stafford. They couldn't get anything in the air or in the run game. Peterson did all right. I'm not sure what his carries were, or I think didn't he get a touchdown? At least one. There's definitely at least one Peterson touchdown that was in the game. Uh,
Yeah, he had 10 carries, 21 yards, and a TD, which isn't bad.
no, considering his age, the dude's still a legend, a living legend.
Yeah, so yeah, dude, he's like, I didn't realize he's like, I think number fifth all time rushing TDs. God damn, like that's like a lot. Like that's not a lot of. Like that's hard. That's hard to do, you know. Um,
Yes.
but yeah, just like that's pretty good, man. Congrats to Adrian Peterson. Still, the dude is like what 36 or 30, 36, I think 35, 36.
Definitely above 35, I'd say.
Yeah, so he's 36 years old. Yeah, so yeah, definitely, obviously, good luck to him. Playing with the Titans. So you can see what. Obviously, he's not Derrick Henry, but he'll be a good addition to that team, especially if they start making a deep run, deep playoff run, which they should be, just because of the division that they're currently in. What else, Art?
Let me give like my own 2 minute warning.
All
How
right,
about that?
let's do it.
Not that I'm ending the show. I'm just gonna like really gloss over the headlines that came out of this weekend. Um, NFL reviews Green Bay Packers COVID-19 protocols was completed Tuesday, and the league source said the Packers were fined $300,000, while quarterback Aaron Rodgers and receiver Alan Lazard were each fined respectively $14,650. These were fined for violations of the protocols that were jointly agreed upon by the NFL and the NFL Players Association. Um, it's a big stink. Rodgers, he didn't necessarily lie, but he admitted certain truths, and now it's biting him in the ass. Sponsors are starting to be wary if they want to continue on with Rodgers. Uh, so he's kind of, people are starting to sour on him. So it's quite a big stink right now. Cleveland Browns wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. cleared by waivers Tuesday, eligible to sign with any team as a free agent. Uh, he wants to be in a contender. No shit. Multiple teams with winning records, established offenses are expected to be interested in Beckham. As per sources, certain players are even starting to reach out to Beckham, trying to make their pitch uh, for their own respective organizations. Uh, he's eligible for any of the other 31 teams. Could pick his renegotiated contract for 7.25 mil by Tuesday's 4 p.m. deadline. I think those are done with. Uh, Cleveland must pay Beckham 4.25 mil, but will save 3 mil. Beckham, who is 29, had 17 catches for 232 yards, 0 touchdowns in his 6 games of this season. He had only 2 100-yard games in 29 games once he joined the Browns in that now doomed 2019 blockbuster trade with the Giants. So keeping with the Browns, their running back Nick Chubb and also fellow player Demetric Felton tested positive for COVID-19. Both players are vaccinated, but their status for Sunday's game against the Patriots is in question. They both need 2 negative tests in 24 hours period apart to be considered. So I think aside from Chubb, the Browns probably got to go with what's his face. Wait, don't tell me. I had his name at the tip of my tongue. Formerly of the Chiefs. A little bit of controversy with some video that Kareem Hunt. There
Yes,
you go, Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
I guess they're gonna go with Hunt. Yeah. So good for them. I mean, obviously that blowout win against the rival Bengals, without the likes of Odell Beckham, uh, For the Patriots, I think they'll be all right uh, with Kareem Hunt uh, running the ball for them. Hunt, he currently was on the injured reserve because of a calf. Uh, I think they will have also a backup to Ernest Johnson, who's also vaccinated. He'll be the other backup. Uh, Yada yada yada. Carolina Panthers QB Sam Darnold has an incomplete fracture of his right shoulder blade and likely to miss several weeks with that injury. Uh, Injury happened second quarter of the team's 24-6 loss to the Patriots. Uh, so it was a shame, man. We thought he was going to be back. Uh, I know it says Panthers are 4-5 now after they began the season 3-0. A lot of hopes for them. McCaffrey went out, then Darnold went out, and then the dominoes just kept falling, not in their favor. A glimpse of hope, Darnold would return, didn't happen. Now they'll be out for him for even longer. Speaking of out, Cowboys are likely going to be needing a kicker for Sunday's game against the Falcons, with Greg Zerline being placed on reserve COVID-19 list as of Tuesday. Status was up in the air. We'll leave Liram Hajrullah. I don't know if I said that correctly. If I butchered it, so sorry. Or Brett Maher in for workouts on Wednesday. This is Maher was a Cowboys kicker in the 18-19 season. Holds the three longest field goals in team history, 63 and 62 yarders respectively. So fuck, we need a kicker. But that's the least of our problems after that embarrassment at home with the Von Miller less Bears. Uh, Not Bear. Yeah, no, Von Miller less Broncos. I know it's start with a B though. Uh, that's my 2 minute drill. What else did you have to say in the football world, buddy?
Nothing much. Just like um, I guess like just begin in regards to we won't really talk about much about it because I don't really think I don't really think I don't know how much value would add. Other than the fact that like the whole Aaron Rodgers situation, whether he should or should not, did he do the right thing? Did did not do the right thing? What should happen to him? The only thing with that, I'd just like to kind of I guess put on the record would be
On
saying
the
that
record.
whenever you go, you're like part of a team.
Uh-huh.
You unfortunately, or not just a part of a team, but whenever you join a collective, you essentially, sacrifice, you give up certain things. Especially say like you're in a relationship and you're in a relationship. Say you have a girlfriend, right? You can't just always be going out all the time with friends. You have to be able to make time for her, or vice versa. If you're a girl, stuff like that. Depending, you just certain sacrifices, things that you used to do, you aren't able to do them, which is, not necessarily a bad thing. It's that you have to sacrifice them, right? A family is the same thing, sometimes you have family events to go to and stuff like that. You're like, oh my God, I have to go to this stuff. But at the end of the day, you have someone that you can, fall back on. Something bad happens or you need help or whatever. You have your family there, so part of those sacrifices really do help us. Same thing with cities and group of friends and stuff like that. When it comes to when you join a team sport, you see that a lot more, and it's like I feel like you feel it a lot more, just because it's very reliant on the individual pieces to do their jobs. So especially football. Football is like a collision sport, dude. Like it's hard, there's a lot of violence. It's very violent. You get hit a lot, and you need to be able to trust the person next to you, to the left and to the right and to behind you and to everything, like and whenever you're and I understand, sometimes the talent transcends a lot of things, especially if that talent helps you win, like Rogers. He's a very talented guy, and sometimes that talent translates to just wins. And you're like, oh well, why'd you do this? But we won, right? So it doesn't matter, that type of
Mm.
thing. So I think that more than anything, it's not necessarily about being a bad person or whatever it is that you think, or political or scientific or whatever thoughts you have. It doesn't really matter. It's just about your contract with the team. Like, bro, just tell us, dude. Like, we don't really care. You know, like if you're not vaccinated or whatever, just don't even tell the team. Which he should have tell. He should tell the team. You know, because it's like a health thing. Anyway, besides the point. But at least tell your teammates, be like, hey man, like I don't really think of this. I don't think it's good or whatever. It's like, all right, cool, that's fine, man. Like I respect that, but just tell me, you
Be out
know?
up front about it.
Yeah, just tell me. Like I actually have my own beliefs, like so I won't necessarily tell them to you or whatever, but if it affects me, then I'll tell them that, hey man, this is what's going on or whatever. Maybe I'm not comfortable. Maybe my family member is, this and that or whatever the case may be. But more than anything, and not just COVID, dude. Deja tu COVID, just anything where you're like, look, man, like this is going on. Hey, look, team, like this is going on. Like I can't be here for this. Oh, okay, cool. We understand. Maybe the management will get pissed. Maybe they'll fine you, whatever. But your teammates, dude, your teammates, because these are the guys you're actually playing with. Just tell me. Just tell me. You know?
Yeah, you're breaching their trust because I mean you were admitting certain truths. Uh, yeah, no, it's you got to trust your. He's the captain. You're essentially the captain. You may have breached certain players' trust in you by tiptoeing around the issue. Yeah, you didn't say you were vaccinated. You said you were immunized, and you threw people off with that comment. Uh, but no, we could totally get into it. It's not political. It's just there's a right way and wrong way of doing things. Your beliefs, fine, cool. Stand up for your beliefs, but be out front about it, uh, and don't use semantics to try to tiptoe around it. Uh, yeah, we could rant all about that all evening.
Yeah.
But
So that's the only thing for that. But all right. Do you want to go to some college ball?
yes, I think the final subject of the evening is some college football. A lot had been going on over this weekend. It's a week 10 recap. Pretty much after this week, or after this previous week, I think we only have 3 more weeks in the regular season. Um,
Whoa.
so there's less than a month left in the 2021 football regular season, and the legitimate college football playoff contenders will begin to emerge over the next 4 weeks. Can Georgia and or Oklahoma go unbeaten? Who will win in the Big Ten East? Can Cincinnati be a part of that first group of 5 teams to claim one of the four um, playoff football playoff spots? Those questions are going to be answered between now and December 5th when the final rankings are announced. For now, we're going to get into some of the overreactions from week 10.
Oh
Uh,
no.
that's all right. So Alabama isn't necessarily the top 4 team that we all thought they could be. Why? They're not as explosive on offense as they were a year ago. I mean, the Tide still ranked number 4 in the FBS with 43 points per game, but uh, quarterback Bryce Young in his first season as starter has thrown 2,755 yards, 20 touchdowns, and only 3 picks. Uh, his receivers, John Meche III and Jameson Williams, are potential first round picks for the 2022 NFL draft. But there's one problem: the Crimson Tide, they don't block very well. Offensive line has been a woeful performance as of Saturday night's 20-14 victory over a very depleted LSU Tiger team. That was some further proof. Alabama had 6 net rushing yards, tying for its lowest rushing total in the game, dating back to at least 1940. Uh, the Tide also ran for 6 yards in a 9-0 loss to Penn State back in 1990. So definitely, there's some red flags for Saban's crew that they need to clean up if they want to run the table on the SEC and try to get back in the top 4 spots. Oregon, are they a possible lock in already for the college football playoffs? Ducks were number 4 going into the committee selections, initial rankings. That might even be higher as of this Tuesday. since Alabama struggled against LSU and the number three Michigan State Spartans. They suffered their first loss in a 40-29 loss versus a 40-29, I guess, victory rather of Purdue over Michigan State. Oregon can clinch the Pac-12 North title if it defeats Washington State at home Saturday, and Oregon State loses to Stanford at home. But then it will be get tricky for the Ducks. They play at Utah on the 20th and close the regular season against in-state rival Oregon State Beavers in what they call the Civil War matchup at home. So they got a few more tests, but things are looking pretty optimistic for them Ducks. Uh, the college football selection committee got a lot of flack over putting undefeated Cincinnati wasn't even included in the top four in their initial rankings.
Dang.
Uh, a lot of people thought they deserved to be at least number six. And I guess now the committee is starting to be swayed a bit. Uh, after the Spartans lost to the Purdue Boilermakers,
Yeah.
can the Bearcats move up? Some think they do, maybe they can't. Cincinnati did struggle for a third week in a row against a lesser opponent, needing a 2 goal line stands in the final minutes to secure a thin 28-20 victory over Tulsa, which dropped to 3-6. A week earlier, Bearcats led Tulane just 14-12 at the half. Um, the Green Wave, as they're called, they're 1-8, but they almost beat them. So before that, they led Navy 13-10. The midshipmen are 2-7. So what's the pattern? Oh, they have to barely win against these mediocre teams. That's why they're undefeated.
There you
So
go.
that's why the committee is penalizing the Bearcats for so-so performances. Uh, Maybe they'll move up to number 5 or stay at number 6 behind Georgia, Oregon, Alabama, Ohio State. Ohio State is actually in the top 4, I think, as of today. Uh, Perhaps even Michigan State. I don't know how far they'll fall behind. Um, the USC California game was postponed because of COVID-19 cases among the Golden Bears. Uh, it was for this Saturday, got postponed. Schools agreed to maybe reschedule for December 4th, the day after the conference title game, uh, mainly because they're undersized. They barely even had enough guys when they played Arizona this past Saturday, with approximately 42 scholarship players in uniform after roughly 2 dozen tested positive during the week. The team, which has a 99% vaccination rate among players, experienced additional positive cases even after Arizona's game. So, damn, they're going to have to start recruiting like on campuses and stuff and shit. Like, go to intramural fields and start holding open tryouts. Uh, so, yeah, that was canceled. And then something a little bit on a sadder note for me as a Texas fan. That says Longhorns wide receiver Joshua Moore is going to leave the team. He enters the transfer protocol. So when addressing the situation last week, Coach Sarkeesian, he downplayed it and he said that freshman Moore was still with the team, but now the Longhorns' leading receiver in 2020 is set to play elsewhere. It says Moore had struggled this season, total about 265 yards in 8 games, but with Texas's wide receiver depth suffering from season-ending injuries to Jordan Whittington and Troy O'Meara, Moore's departure further depletes the position of wide receiver for us. Sarkeesian also provided an update on quarterback Casey Thompson, who was replaced by Hudson Card during Texas's 30-7 loss to Iowa State on the road. It says Thompson's thumb was bothering him, according to Sarkeesian, who said he plans to name a starter as early as maybe this Thursday. Card completed 14 of his 23 passes, 101 yards, and a lone touchdown. It was Texas's only score. So my Longhorns are 4-5. They're gonna host the 1-8 Kansas this weekend. So, damn. I think 4 games in a row, man. We lost. And we can't beat Kansas, then this season truly was a shitter. Uh, we lost our good weapon on wide receiver. So it's not good, Danny. But as Longhorns faithful, I got to support my team, rain or shine. snow or whatever.
No lie. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens with college football as we continue with that and just like our Longhorns and it's the first year. We'll see how once he gets his recruiting class into it and everything. We'll see 2 3 years really. It's I mean is when we'll really get a good gauge on how he's gonna be um as a coach and how his influence is there in Texas. But yeah, I mean in this case,
I want to end on a lighter note. I
yeah.
can't end it on such a bad note. Now the little brothers down on I-35 in SA. What's up with UTSA, man? The Roadrunners just keep on running. So this past weekend, quarterback for the Roadrunners, Frank Harris, passed for 286 yards, 2 touchdowns, and even rushed for 2 more scores to help lead number 16 UTSA in a 44-23 road victory against UTEP Saturday night at the Sun Bowl. Roadrunners are 9-0 in total, 4-0 in USA Conference USA, pushed their school record win to 9 games, and one of the only four left undefeated teams in FBS. So a lot to be proud of. If you haven't already gone to see one of the games in SA, definitely fill out those stands because that team, those coaches, staff, everybody uh, on UTSA, they definitely need the recognition they deserve. And it's a storied season, man. I hope to see them go far in whatever bowl game they get selected for. What are your thoughts, man, on them runners?
First of all, I'm glad obviously they're that they're winning, but we'll just see how they continue this success, just like as they roll into the next conference. Further, just a big fish in a small pond. So really, that's what I'm really worried or looking forward to. Just them continuing moving this what they're doing right now into essentially next year. And then as they build up on going into the next conference or a bigger,
Yes.
stronger conference.
Uh, I see that the runners are going to play host. Uh, I believe this Saturday against Southern Mississippi. They're 1-8. Those Golden Eagles. So it should be another cakewalk. Uh, so definitely, if you're out there in the SA area, you give it a check out. It's a 2:30 p.m. Central game. So I'm pretty sure the gates open probably like at 1 or something like that. Tailgate, should be beautiful weather. Loving this fall weather. It's great to cook out in.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Especially, um, I don't know, like especially like right now where it's like it's not cold, but it's not like really cold. Where it's just it's mostly the wind that's kind of cold, so you can just put a jacket and you just be kind of chilling and everything. I don't know.
I get
um,
it's light jacket weather. I mean, even maybe in the hotter hours of the day, you don't even need a jacket.
yeah,
But it's still like air conditioned weather outside.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So it's like, I don't know. But yeah, yeah. I mean, we'll just as we continue into we'll talk a little bit more about more things on the on our on Thursday. But just as we continue moving into our new into next year, we'll talk a little bit more as we turn into a podcast style of show and get more people on, do a little bit more promotion and stuff like that. What do you think, Art?
Bitchin'. No, I like it. A lot of good things on the horizon for Mezzo Forte Sportz and all of our platforms. Looking forward to all our future guest spots, our analysts to come back. And a lot of them have been busy with different things, family and work life. But we should slowly get our guys back on the panel. We've been holding the ship up all this time. Uh, and we're going to usher Meso into a new era. It's great. A lot of great things to come. On the side, Texas did win 92-48 in the basketball game. Just saying.
Nice.
And for those who are, not that interested in the Clippers Portland, There's a heater of a game with Duke, Kentucky, two storied rival franchises. Uh, Barely 6 minutes left in the second half, and it's just like not even like a 4 or 5 point margin. So it's back and forth. But now I just wanted to bring that up. Now, great. Closing remarks, Danny. Closing remarks.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and start wrapping it up. Oh, here we go. All right. That's going to be it for this week's episode. All right, wow. So thank you so much for chilling with us this time. Go ahead and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. Check out our podcast coming soon on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and our Heart Radio. My bad. Just want to give a quick shout out thank you to our sponsors. Music provided by Studio 13th Day. Graphics provided also by Studio 13th Day, Tasmagorya Division. This is Danny BMD, guys. Signing off, saying laters to all. Bringing home art.
Thank you, Dan. Lesson of the day is when push comes to shove, Nikola Jokic may be a nugget, but he ain't no chicken. Morris Brothers, beware. Remember, sports are great, but mean nothing without you all, the fans. This is episode number 78. Till next time, folks, be cool, stay safe, keep on listening to Mezzo Forte Sportz. Promotional consideration brought to you by Devil Dog Detailing.